Hi everyone. You see, we're working on reducing a dead elm tree to be left as a wildlife stump. And we were climbing it, both of us. Right now there's only one log left and there was no more room for both of us, so I came down. But I'd like to show you something that I came across when climbing this dead tree. So this is a dead elm tree. The elm disease, maybe I've been dealing with it for the last maybe 5 years. Usually elm trees, if they haven't been dead for too long, they're pretty sturdy. They still have good fiber and maintain their strength. But I've come across a dead elm tree before that had been dead for quite a while, and it was in much worse condition than I anticipated. So I had to really rethink my approach. Let me show you what happened here. Here's a good example of a piece that was fairly strong. Of course, those thinner branches up there broke once they hit the ground from the impact. But there's still pretty good hinge wood with okay fibers. The wood is hard and sound. You can see that the sapwood is a bit decayed, but there's a lot of good wood in the middle still. Even though dry, it's still strong. But then I got to cutting this one piece here, and that was a different story. But I didn't know until it hit the ground and I saw what happened. So let me show you. So this piece here, you can see my hand, it's pretty good size. It's probably at least 30 centimeters in diameter. And I don't know, was probably closer to 10 meters tall still. And here, the wood, same condition, hard, fibers, a little decay on the outside here, the bark is coming off. And then I made the cut, dropped the piece, and it shattered into smaller pieces. There's one right here, and you can see up here on the end where the wood is completely different, completely rotten, and it just snapped off straight across. This tall piece went into several little bits. There's this one here that I cut, one there, and then one there, and several more. And so it's hard to know the condition of the tree before you've cut it. You know, obviously it's dead, usually fairly strong, but I'm glad I didn't climb any higher in this one or even had my tie-in in it. And the length of this piece is about 2 meters. So it went from fairly okay to not okay at all. And that in a very short distance. I should also mention that this was the only piece we cut that was this badly decayed, and there was nothing obvious that would have suggested that that was the case. So, to summarize, I would say be careful with dead trees. If you haven't been doing this job for a long time, be especially careful and gather some experience. Know what species you're dealing with, know why it died and how it died, and how long it's been dead. Maybe it's not even suitable to be climbed in at all, so then you have to find alternative ways. And otherwise, if you decide you can climb in it, try to figure out which part of the tree is the healthiest and the strongest still, and stay tied into that. Avoid tying into pieces that are very weak, because you don't want to be pulled down by a piece that fails right underneath you. Also, when you throw in your rope, aim for lower crotches so you can assess the tree once more once you come maybe halfway up. So you don't commit to something smaller diameter that is questionable. Even though the whole tree is dead and it maybe died, like in this case of elm disease, certain parts of it might have died much sooner and been dead longer, and therefore are in a different stage of decay. Plus there's other defects that even a healthy tree can have that still exist in the wood, like cracks and cavities. So be careful with dead trees. Stay safe and see you another time.
Där var det.